Welcome back. Secretary for Security Lai Tong-kwok today spoke in defense of controversial draft police guidelines, instructing officers to arrest people who swear at them. Joel De Silva has a story.
In the future, scenes like this one last July when teacher Arpais Lam swore at police officers may quickly take a different turn. Draft police guidelines, which are expected to be rolled out as early as next month, would advise police to make an arrest after continuous verbal abuse. But this is raising eyebrows among human rights groups who insist the rules should not encroach upon constitutionally protected rights.
They will guide frontline officers how to handle these cases step by step so that they can provide a professional attitude in handling these cases.
Lai also pointed out that the advice to police officers will not apply to public order situations such as demonstrations. According to the guidelines, police officers should first advise the person verbally abusing them to stop. This would be followed by a verbal warning, and only if that doesn't work should the police officers make an arrest. Lai also commented on a drop in the crime rate in 2013.
This is a very welcoming situation. But there are, of course, certain areas that the number of reported cases has gone up. For instance, serious drug offenses. In particular, the number of arrests for juvenile aged 10 to 15 has increased.
The number of juvenile drug offenders has surged by almost 56%. Lai noted that the majority of them are first-time offenders lured into experimenting with drugs by their peers. To tackle the problem, he said police will step up education campaigns targeting this younger audience. Joel De Silva, TVB News.
The Urban Renewal Authority plans to redevelop another site in Sham Shui Po. Some of the buildings there include illegal rooftop structures. Vicky Kung has more.
A rooftop not for hanging clothes, but for housing people. The Urban Renewal Authority today launched a proposal to buy back and redevelop 16 blocks on Castle Peak Road and Unchao Street in Sham Shui Po. The buildings are about 60 years old. Many of them are 6-story high. But here, we found an extra story or two built illegally at the rooftop. Mrs. Fu lives in this structure with her family of 16. Fu said she didn't know this is an unauthorized structure when she bought it 5 years ago from the previous owner. She's worried that the compensation to be offered will be minimal. Up a staircase are a toilet and 3 bedrooms where the Fu family sleeps. A number of people share the same bed. This rooftop houses about 30 illegally constructed units. As space is limited, some residents have to share an open kitchen with a sink and a gas stove. This morning, the URA began counting the number of residents at the buildings here. It estimates that 160 households and 29 ground floor shops have to be relocated. The URA has outlined compensation packages for owners and tenants, including those in subdivided flats and rooftop homes.
For genuine occupiers of roof structures, we will offer them cash allowance according to our policy. And if they are eligible, which means they satisfy the requirement of the Housing Authority and the Housing Society's rehousing requirement for roof occupiers, we will help them moving to the public rehousing units.
The URA will meet with affected owners and tenants to discuss details next week. Construction work for the new residential building is expected to finish in 2021 and will provide 230 units. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
Thousands of Thai farmers have called off a planned tractor drive to Bangkok's main airport to protest against non-payment in a controversial rice subsidy scheme. The government has offered assurance the farmers will get paid. Had it gone ahead, the protests would have put more pressure on caretaker Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra to step down. The rice program was among the policies pioneered by Yingluck's billionaire brother and former Prime Minister Thaksin. The farmers demanded to know why the government would start the policy when it was not ready. To Venezuela, where security forces and demonstrators continue to face off after protests escalated against President Nicolas Maduro's socialist government. At least 5 people have died in the violence, and the president is so disgruntled with what he calls unfair coverage by CNN, he's threatened to kick the network out of the country.
Non-stop protests have turned the city of San Cristobal into a war zone. It bears the scars of gas bombs and rocks thrown amid streets blocked with flaming barricades of trash. The military says the violence there is so bad it's sending a battalion of paratroopers to restore order. But the mayor of San Cristobal insists it's the government that's cut off vital services to the city to exact revenge for their peaceful rallying against Maduro. The protesters, mostly students, want Maduro to resign. They blame his government for the country's violent crime, high inflation, product shortages, and repression of opponents. The death toll in the recent unrest has risen to 5 after 22-year-old beauty queen Genesis Carmona was shot in the head during an anti-government protest in the city of Valencia. Surveying the aftermath of protests in Caracas, Maduro blamed demonstrators of purposely killing the beauty queen so that the opposition would be filled with hate. The embattled leader also gave a stern warning to news channel CNN. He said if CNN doesn't change its coverage of the protests to include footage of violent opposition groups, he will expel the network from the country. Maduro is convinced the protests are an attempted coup by right-wing and fascist opponents in Venezuela and abroad, particularly the United States. But two-time presidential candidate and opposition leader Enrique Capriles blames Maduro. He believes Maduro instructed the government to play out a brutal repression that targets students and protesters. He's challenging the president to disarm his troops and begin a dialogue of peace.
All right, Chris, over to you for some sports.
Yeah, and before we get to the Olympics, something local. Hong Kong boxer Rek So continues his march toward a possible world title fight later this year. The Wonder Kid steps back into the ring tomorrow in Macau. So is on the undercard of the latest Ring of Gold promotion. He will put his WBC Asia Continental Super Flyweight title on the line against Japan's Meiko Matsuyama. The 26-year-old was impressive in his last bout in Macau, scoring a first-round TKO over a Thai opponent back in November. Meanwhile, China's Su Shiming headlines the event at Cotai Arena. The two-time Olympic gold medalist looks to improve his professional record to 4-0. Now at the Sochi Games, following the men's hockey debacle, the host nation got some consolation as a Russian won an historic gold medal in women's figure skating. Teenager Adelina Sotnikova upset defending champion Kim Yoo-na of South Korea. Jameson Wong has more.
And that is one exciting wrap of our news.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good evening. It was mainly cloudy today with sunny periods in the afternoon. At 5 p.m., a fresh to strong northeast monsoon was affecting the coast of Guangdong. Today's temperatures range from 12.3 to 15.2 degrees Celsius, and the current temperature is now standing at 14.2 degrees Celsius. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? Bright during the day tomorrow, temperatures will range from 13 to 16 degrees. It'll keep getting warmer in the following few days. Tomorrow morning's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 5. And now to the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu. Bright in Beijing, sunny in Seoul and Tokyo. Rain in Bangkok, showers in Ho Chi Minh City, bright in Manila. Bright in Kuala Lumpur, rain in Jakarta. Sunny in Karachi, bright in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo, bright in Nairobi. Showers in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Auckland. Snow in Toronto, rain in New York. Cloudy in Vancouver, sunny in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Bright in London, cloudy in Amsterdam and Frankfurt, showers in Zurich. And that's weather. Have a good weekend.